How about the smoke-free campus ordinance?
Debbie?
I'm not in agreement with the vapor carrying those in. I agree with having the ordinance.
I think, I didn't bring this ordinance up. I'm a smoker. I can do with, I can do without, okay? It doesn't matter. But I feel that if we're gonna spend the time and write an ordinance for this campus, for the city of Pevely, it should be smoking tobacco, chewing tobacco, I'd rather smell smoke probably than see a big chunk of chalk sitting out in front of the patio, walking in the door. And vapor, I mean, it should all be just done with and it's over with, and we don't have to address this down the road. I really do. I think it should be all of it.
I'll second that. We can change that.
We can't say it, we're just discussing. But I mean, if we're gonna do it, we need to just imply it. If you either you smoke on a property or you smoke vapors on a property, or you chew tobacco on a property, it's all not good, period. I don't care what, and I do it, but it's not good. And if I choose to change the vapor, it's all.
Still talking. Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Initially, when this first was discussed, it was because when you come out after the meetings, there was always a big group of people right outside the door, and then you couldn't get through to your car, and all the smoke was coming in your face. So, I mean, this is just a suggestion, that the problem really wasn't, and I didn't see all the cigarette butts on the ground at that time either, so I guess that was something that got brought up, and I think that's an issue too. But really, it's just in front of the doors, where it's a big problem. I mean, I don't have any problem with people smoking in the parking lot, personally. It was just right outside the doors coming in and out of a public building, you just don't usually see that anywhere else. You're not usually allowed to smoke within a certain number of feet of the entrance.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
Most of these, like school district guys, are completely smoke-free. And
Hospitals too.
everything. I respectfully disagree with Mrs. Katz here, but
Don't do that.
won't have you, William. I also like to see, I don't think they should be smoking in cars, the city cars. I don't think they should be smoking in city trucks. I don't think they should be chewing on any of it. Why would you just punish people here who smoke or chew, and everybody else can do it in the rest of town, the rest of the, over the other business, over the shops and that. Maybe if I was riding around with one of them and somebody smoked, I work for somebody, I probably wouldn't say anything. It's not fair for the health of someone else. And you're right, Dave, that chewing, that's nasty.
It's sick.
It is, and everybody spits in those cups and spits in their, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I would like to see that included into the ordinance.
So you're saying you'd like to see like the street department shed, all city property, is what you're saying?
And vehicles.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
There should be one on city vehicles.
Is there, do we have an ordinance not to smoke in this building? Is there an ordinance for not smoking in this building, or can I have a cigarette?
I think there's a sign around the door.
Great, a sign. That's gonna stop me.
Thank you, Dave.
No, I mean, I'm just asking.
So,
It's not a dumb question.
so we're interested in including the city vehicle, city property, and
How do they feel about the vapor part?
The problem with that is it doesn't.
You don't smell it.
You don't smell it. It doesn't impact anybody else's health. If there's no trash.
well, let me ask you this. What happens in 10 years from now when they come out and say that that's bad for you? I
Causes
mean,
breast
so,
cancer.
I guess you
but quite honestly, so
Reach
at
in.
this meeting here, we can sit up here and all smoke vapor cigarettes.
That's right.
I mean,
Legally, I can light up a cigarette.
I'm only one person, so.
go ahead.
ahead, Paul.
I don't wanna,
Go ahead.
I don't wanna be a Debbie Downer here, okay? And I think that it's great that, you know, that we're passing some ordinances and things, getting a few things in order, okay? But I'm looking from a practical sense here, okay? The ordinances that we had at the last meeting, what we're discussing right now, okay? I mean, in theory, this is all great, all right? But who and how are we going to enforce these, okay? To me, it's kind of ludicrous to have laws on the books, okay, that are more or less common sense laws. And who are you gonna assign to do these, okay? And I'm not trying to take up for anybody or to down anybody, okay? But I'm thinking a couple things. Do I want my police force have to worry about cleaning up, you know, arresting somebody for dog poo, or arresting somebody, or just giving them a citation for smoking on this campus, for smoking in the cars, okay? Do I want Kenny's time taken up with dead tree limbs and finding all this other stuff? You know, I mean, we have things that are more important. I mean, you know, Kenny should be out there looking, I mean, this is just my opinion, excuse me. But, I mean, he should be doing things that are with code, with building code and getting things that other building houses built or other businesses coming in, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, we have a lot of big problems here, and these are just, who's going to enforce these? Who is going to enforce it? Are we just going to enforce them when we feel like we're enforcing them? You know, it's like, okay, today's Tuesday, so now we're going to go out and look for everybody whose dog is pooing somewhere. You know, I mean, I think this is great, you know, but I mean, these are some common sense things. And I don't know, I may be way off base. Maybe these are ordinances that we definitely need. But I mean, to me, I mean, we're still a small town. Everybody turns around and whenever there's a debate somewhere, we're a fourth-class city. We're a fourth-class city, okay? So, you know, we're not a first-class city. We're not even a second-class city. So, I mean, what is the thing that you're saying, you know, please, no smoking, you know, or a sign that says, you know, please clean up after your dog, you know, when you're in the park, or whatever. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be people that are going to take advantage of that, but I mean, I don't know. That is my opinion.
I don't believe you can put up the signs and that if we don't already have an ordinance into effect, though. We can't put a no smoking sign up if we don't have an ordinance to back it up. Go ahead.
I'd like to just say that who's going to enforce these? It's just like 90% of the other ordinance, they are not enforced. It's a deterrent.
Right.
If I may
Just
say,
the fact that you have an ordinance, that is a deterrent. It ain't going to stop everybody. Nothing's going to stop everybody except for
we have an occasion to go to St. Anthony's Hospital, and I catch somebody smoking, I holler about it. They're not allowed to smoke on the campus at all.
We're talking St. Anthony's Hospital, and we're talking about City Hall of Pevely.
Well, I understand, but I've already hollered at people that were smoking outside.
Well, you can do that, but one of these days you might pay for it, believe me.
I don't think Kenny's out driving the streets looking for dogs pooping without bags. But if the neighbor calls up and says his dog constantly is doing this in my yard, if there's nothing that we have implemented here, then there's nothing that he can do. He can go over there and say, hey, Joe, pick up your dog stuff out of their yard. It is common sense, but you know what? I was gonna write a book on common sense, but people are too to read it. So, I mean, you can't fix.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I agree with you, Lee. Oh, have it all.
You have been saying,
on the dog poop, because I'll tell you what, I got my pool scooper, I drive around with my pool scooper on back of mine. And I was out the porch today, and there's 2 turds look like a cow sitting up.
Okay,
This
thank
poor
you.
kid was riding around, he stepped in and cleaned his shoes off before he get in his car today. That's what people are talking about.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Don, you got something else?
No, I agree with Carol, his attorney. You know, you can tell people they can only go 20 miles an hour, and they still go 30, so
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I don't care about the dog food one, but the rest of them are.
Okay. Anybody
Care
else?
when you walk in the park, don't you?
So we're gonna include vapor, chew, city vehicles and city property. Add that to it? Yeah.
Chewing
All-
tobacco.
All types of tobacco, vapor, and all city vehicles and all city property.
Now, let me ask this. Okay, you're talking police vehicles.
All city vehicles. We're not,
Okay, well, okay, all city vehicles.
Any city-owned vehicle.
Okay. I mean, you know, I don't wanna have to have policemen in my town getting out of the car, you have to go stand by the tree to smoke a cigarette.
well, let's see, we were told at the last meeting, we only had one officer out of the whole force that smoked.
Herculaneum has the same policy, no smoking in any city
I'm
vehicle.
just questioning that, you know,
Yeah,
that's fine,
Okay.
I just wanna, we're all
I
set.
think most departments have that, our cities have that policy anyway.
I noticed Mr. Fuel over there has a sign on their door that it's a city ordinance for no smoking inside buildings.
Okay.